Welcome to Who Knew. We are fans of the current series of Doctor Who, and here we discuss our likes, dislikes, and insights into the modern regeneration of the show. Subscribe, review, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WhoKnewPodcast. All our episodes are on WhoKnewPodcast.com. You can leave comments there or email us at WhoKnewPodcast@gmail.com. We also have an Instagram and Twitter account. Tweet at us at WhoKnewPodcast. Find us on Facebook. Today's episode is the 2015 Christmas special, The Husbands of River Song. At Christmas, the Doctor finds himself dealing with an insane dictator, a stolen diamond, a shipload of mass murderers, and a long-lost love who doesn't recognize him. This episode is written by Stephen Moffat, directed by Douglas McKinnon. It originally aired on the 25th of December 2015 and was watched by 7.69 million viewers. Hi, this is Eugene. Let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, this is Brian.
Hello, this is Frank.
Hi, it's Heather.
Hello, everybody. It's Kelsey.
Howdy, this is Auburn.
Hi, it's Josh.
It's Christmas 5343, and a man named Nardole knocks on the TARDIS door. He's come to get a surgeon, which the Doctor doesn't find amusing, but close enough. Nardole takes him to a spaceship where a hooded woman complains that the Doctor/surgeon doesn't look like his pictures. The woman removes her hood, revealing River Song. The Doctor happily says her name. River angrily asks how he knows her name. He begins to play along, but soon realizes that she's not joking. She doesn't know who he is.
Love it. Love it. Love it already.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Love it.
So yeah, this is the Christmas special, so we get this new sort of opening sequence with the snow and the snow, what would we call decorated gears and all these things. It's nice.
And on the TARDIS too, I think. The
Oh,
windows
yeah.
are all snowed up.
Yeah, when it's spinning around, I saw the bottom was also frosted.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Did everybody
I have a
like
question for
seeing?
everyone. Sorry. Here, my question is, how do you think the Doctor got the reindeer antlers on his head? What was he
It was a
doing in the
TARDIS.
TARDIS?
The TARDIS did it to him.
Oh, you don't think he was in there himself, like
Unless
pretending
he
to be a
was,
reindeer?
Well,
because he
yeah,
goes back into the TARDIS and he says, "I never asked you to put antlers on my holographic antlers on my head." So
Somehow I missed that.
Or he lies.
yeah.
He
Doesn't he,
lies.
And then cover himself for embarrassment. Okay, no.
doesn't he say? He says something like, "I told you to do this, not that," or something like.
something like that. Yeah.
Hey, your vehicle. I asked you to cheer me up. Is this what?
I never asked you to cheer me up.
Yeah. I never asked you to cheer me up. That's what it says.
But that's the whole fun of this episode is it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be silly. So right away they get you, and then even when Heather didn't hear that one line, you could still say something like, "Well, it was the Doctor who didn't want to look that way, so he changed it and blamed the TARDIS."
Frank.
I was
Frank,
probably too
you're-
busy
it
laughing.
could work so many different ways. It could be so so it's so gonna be fun. It's just gonna be fun.
Frank, you're framed like you're a Cyberman.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that.
It's funny.
Did everybody
What were you
enjoy
saying, Greg?
visiting? I was gonna say, did everybody enjoy visiting the street where Clara died again?
Yeah,
I
just
know.
redressed.
Oh, I didn't recognize
Was that
it.
supposed to fool us, or was it just like, well, this
Seriously.
For a second, I thought it was I was watching the wrong episode.
Oh,
Until-
yeah.
Hey,
and
they paid for the set. They might as well use it as much as they can.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that big a deal. It looked very Christmassy to begin with.
Yeah, but I don't know how they could have filmed it differently from a different angle, maybe, to not
Yeah.
make it look the same. I don't know.
All they basically did was switch it around so the left to right was now the right to left. That's all they did. It's like, okay, whatever.
And I think this is the first Christmas episode or special to have no scenes on Earth.
Oh, wow.
'Cause
What
even-
about
What about what?
Christmas Carol?
Christmas Carol? I think they didn't they.
They go to Earth.
They
with
go
the
to Earth.
Marilyn Monroe part.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, they had the fun. Carolers will be criticized, on the score. And there was the actual surgeon there going, "Are you looking for a surgeon?" And they just ignore him and continue on. So, little fun bits.
I have a feeling that surgeon was an afterthought for thinking the audience won't understand, or producers who don't understand. So they put that in.
That's a good joke.
But I liked it. That was fun. I wanted to know what was on Nardole's paper.
Mm-hmm.
I confused it.
And at this point, I know it's really early, but I wasn't convinced yet that River still wasn't pretending.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I
As
know.
a matter of fact, it takes a long time until I'm fully convinced she's not pretending.
Yeah, I agree.
not
But when you're writing these summaries, it's like I have to. It's hard.
I wasn't criticizing the summary. I was saying I remember the first time watching it and this time being like, am I being tricked? What's going on?
There are times that it really bugs me that she's smarter, she should know it, but it's like, okay, it's just for fun. This one's silly, it's great. But I came up with the idea that it's her ego, hubris, that she knows so much about the Doctor and knows all 12 faces he could ever possibly have. And the idea that anything else is ludicrous because she knows he has limits.
Makes sense.
So it's like, okay. But I get it. Sometimes it's just, no, they made her so much better and so much smarter than that. She'd pick up on it. She'd just know, but like, okay,
Yeah.
we just have
I'll
to
bring
go
up,
with that.
I'll bring up an example that's along the lines of what you're saying, Frank, but it's later in the episode.
Her mind is on other things. The love of her life is dying.
Well, we just also had another episode where they played the switcheroo of the Doctor not knowing the companion for that episode. And
Yeah.
to make us question who knows what.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit too close to that.
I would have
And
liked, what's coming up? Never mind.
I mean, I already said I love this episode. It's almost like I have to watch it 3 times. I have to watch it just to see it and have fun. And then the second time I watch it, just watching Capaldi the entire time, because his reaction shots when River is talking are just fantastic. And then the third time I have to watch it, watching Alex Kingston reacting to everything else going on too. It's like you need to just focus on these performances the whole time, because every time you look away from them, you're missing something.
I think that she gave me one of the best threats, which is that I will remove your organs in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
Which
I
alphabet?
really,
Yeah, which alphabet?
I
That's
really want to
great.
use that on someone, but I'm not really threatening enough. So I'm like,
Not with that attitude, you're not.
And really brief, can you fill in for some of our fans that might not know the entire history, but the limit of the 12 regenerations? And also, can you remind me, who wrote the original River episode? Was that Moffat or?
Yes,
Okay.
Silence in the Library and
Okay.
Forest of the Dead were his conceit of River Song.
Okay.
And then the 12 or 13 regenerations was from the classic versions of Doctor Who. And then I think it reset. The Time Lords gave him new
Yeah.
regenerations at some point.
Yeah, and then
Transalore, Christmas.
Which
Matt
Christmas?
Smith's regeneration.
When he was on Transalore.
The name of the
Bound
Doctor, I
on
believe?
Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No.
is that the name of the Doctor?
No, it's not. It's I always get them confused. Night.
the night of the name of the Doctor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
The day before the night of the name.
Oh, damn it. Oh, well, that'll work too. Okay.
Did they say in this episode when this is in her timeline?
Well, we'll know by the end of the episode.
Oh,
They did, yeah.
They allude to it with the pages in the diary, which we haven't got to yet, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, there's one specific thing. I mean,
Fleming says where she just came from.
Yeah.
The name of the Doctor, right?
Yeah, so that's what I said.
I thought
Yeah,
Or is
so
it the
there
time of the Doctor? Wait a minute.
no, it's the
Well-
time of the Doctor. The name of the Doctor is the one where we get introduced to the War Doctor.
the name of the Doctor? No, that's the Day of the Doctor.
Okay.
I love how they're so close. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
all
I know,
The same ones. They
I
all
know.
do that.
Okay, I'm done now.
So the name of the Doctor is the last episode of, I think, season 7. That's where you have the Doctor on Transalore with the Paternoster gang, and River also shows up. So I think that's also the last time we saw River was in the end of season 7. So we've had season 7, season 6, and now we're in the end of season 9. So she's been absent for quite a while.
River takes the Doctor to her dying husband, King Hydroflax. It seems the most valuable diamond in the universe has become lodged in his head. As 4 billion of his subjects watch nervously, River tells the Doctor to save him. In another room, she tells him she's only here to recover the diamond and doesn't mind if Hydroflax dies in the process. She suggests taking his head. Hydroflax has been listening, however, and angrily shows that he can remove his head from his mechanical body at any time. The body moves to attack them, but River threatens Hydroflax's head with her sonic trowel. She calls her other husband, Ramon, who teleports them close to the TARDIS. The body takes Nardole's and Ramon's heads to learn more about River. Using Ramon as a decoy, the body tricks River into letting it into the TARDIS. They leave the planet and arrive on a ship filled with the evilest people in the galaxy.
Is this where River pulls out the stuff out of her bag to put the head in? And then we see the fez?
Yes.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was a fun thing.
She's specifically saying the archaeology line when she pulls it out too.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing the fez in the museum specifically.
Mm-hmm.
When she what does she say to him? Like, can just once, can you walk past a fez or something like that?
Yeah.
Never gonna happen.
I love I was just gonna say, I love this whole ride that we're taking on. Like you guys mentioned, like River's not this, like I feel like the first 5 minutes that we're like in this with River, she's not the River song that we're used to. So you're kind of like, yeah, where is this in the timeline? And like, has she never met I was doing a lot of like, what's happening? Like, and then when you go into that back room and she explains that she married the diamond, and then you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like it is, River's song that we know. And I just thought it was great. And also like the way that the doctor keeps folding his arms, and then Nardole is like, put him on your side every time like River says something about her husband because he's upset that she married someone. And I just
it's really cute. It's cute to see him jealous. We don't see that very often.
And I mean, the whole thing that Moffat had is that he was inspired by the time traveler's wife. So the Doctor and River keep meeting out of order. So I like that it's, to quote George Lucas, it's sort of poetry, like her first meeting of the Doctor. The Doctor doesn't know who she is, but she knows who the Doctor is. And then so this is her last, I guess, TV episode, because she's been in other things. The Doctor knows who she is, but she doesn't know who the Doctor is. So I think that's a kind of nice bookend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then do we get River's sonic trowel yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I first saw it, I was like, that's kind of stupid. But then thinking about what we've gone through, and that we learned that River is the daughter of Amy and Rory. Rory's dad always brought a trowel. So I kind of took that as more of a insider reference, like that's a tribute to her grandfather.
Oh, wow.
I never thought of that.
I thought it was because she's an archaeologist. And
It can go.
It
can go that way as well.
I like yours better. Grandfather's.
I mean, have we ever really seen River on her hands and knees digging anything?
It's like stealing with time.
Yeah.
I also love when the doctor is about to perform the surgery. It's like, we're gonna need a mop, and the
like,
visual on that.
And he goes like, "What species is he?"
What species?
He never actually said no. He's just like,
And River's flirting and rubbing the suit, with her finger just fingering this. It's just, she did it so well in, oh my gosh, she's falling for this kind of thing. So I thought her acting was a lot of fun with that.
So I will say, I do not like the suit. Once it starts to walk,
hate it.
It looks terrible because you can see the arms of the guy, the puppeteer. And I go,
well, he tried to disguise those as tubes, but still.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. Like you can tell what it is.
Walking around so clumsily, it doesn't feel menacing.
It doesn't feel like it looks heavy. It feels like it's styrofoam and like foam core. I mean, because that's what they probably had to do.
Come on, guys, chill.
I like this. To me, because it seemed like Hydroflax had been through war and stuff, and so this suit is to keep him alive, and you'd want something grandiose and big.
You can't even see. If you turn your head to the right and left, all you see is shoulder. It's like Buzz Lightyear on steroids is what it looks like.
Yeah, right. I think the comedic vibe of the episode lends itself to be that goofy as it was.
Yeah. I thought that worked for this.
Well, then you win.
No, I don't win. But I do. But no. And her second wife? Like, there's a lot of River we don't know about.
Well, she has an extended life.
That is, to me, that's just Moffat and his coupling stuff, like seeping through everything.
Yeah.
Coupling is a sitcom he wrote, so those of you who don't know, that's what he did.
I thought that was just in your vocabulary.
I like how self-referential his writing is, especially with the doctor, I think we skipped. Did we skip over? No, not yet. That's not yet. Sorry, but especially with the doctor on like and River's relationship, like the flow chart lines were really
Yes.
Yes.
and some more come later. I think when they get back to the TARDIS, or are they there already?
They're back.
yeah,
they're
they're
in
back.
the.
They've
They're back
been
to
to
the
the TARDIS.
TARDIS.
So that, I mean, that whole sequence there where the Doctor gets to play out his reaction is it's just great acting and writing and like, yeah, circular right back to where we all started with the Doctor.
When he gets his chance to talk about how it's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, because he's on the outside and he goes, finally. And then Ramon's like, finally what? Finally, it's my go. And I can do it properly. The way
And
he does it.
that whole run that he does about, faking it, like what he wishes everyone always said.
He's like, what does he say? He says something like, my concept of how things work is just completely blown.
Yeah. I love the initial. Oh my God.
But then it's also great with River walks over, taps the wall, and like a full like bar pops out of it. And his face very clearly says, "How long has that been there?"
And I mean, it's funny, but I also love the concept that River borrows the TARDIS. And he never knows, but I just always take it like, yeah, he's done it. And he hasn't done it just one, or she hasn't done it just once. She just borrows the TARDIS. And God, that's just awesome. That's just perfect for River.
It's
He
weird.
would know. Well, he's never known before.
I do and I don't like that. And it depends on my mood. And I'll share with everybody later about, I watch this multiple times before we record. So anyway.
Yeah, I found that spot. My grasp of the universal constants of physical reality has been changed.
It's so good when he does it.
Well, who hasn't said that once or twice?
Forever.
And then when going back to when River does take the alcohol out of the roundules, like we always wondered, like, what are the round things in their storage compartments in this case? And then she takes a bottle out and she goes, "Don't tell Dad," and points to her nose. I took that as like Rory, because Arthur Darvill has a very prominent nose, so don't tell Dad.
Oh, okay.
Dang, you get all these familial things that no one else sees.
That's what happens when you watch it more than once. It also depends on my mood.
I also, for obvious reasons, love the isn't that sarcasm? Do you really think that's going to help? And he's like, wouldn't it be a great universe if sarcasm did? It's like, yes, it would make my life a lot easier.
Oh, and then what are they doing on the 7th deck? Every time he hits that button,
Waste
something's
extraction.
evacuating.
Yeah. Oh, so going into my compliment sandwich, this is the part that I kind of don't like, because this is the first time River has been in this TARDIS that we've seen physically. But like was mentioned earlier, she takes the TARDIS on joyrides every once in a while. But as like a viewer, I'm like, she's never been in this console, so the control panel and all that has changed. And so that sort of bugs me that she knows how to fly the TARDIS and what the buttons do, but doesn't recognize who the Doctor is.
It also looks different, right?
Yeah, I think this TARDIS was introduced in Deep Breath. So it's been 2 TARDIS consoles since she was last on the show physically.
Yeah, but maybe the buttons are in the same place. They just look different.
I know. I'm on a podcast and I'm dissecting it.
It's just a skin, Eugene.
I know.
I was, this last time watching it, I was thinking the same thing, but I always not just because of this, but I always took it as if you knew how to fly the TARDIS, you could fly it in any configuration.
Yeah.
Like
a car, it's kind of got the same thing.
Yeah, or it's just by the time you know how to fly the TARDIS, you innately know how to fly a TARDIS.
Yeah.
And you, I know it keeps popping up, but you can't think too much on she doesn't recognize him. It's like,
again, it's my mood that I'm in. Like, I'm very analytical in one mood when I'm watching this, and I'm very much along for the ride when I'm watching it. So I took notes on both moods.
On both days.
Yeah.
It might have been interesting if there was just one really short line where she commented on, like, "Ooh, this looks a little bit different."
I didn't like it.
But she's used to seeing
it.
She's used to seeing it change, so it's kind of like just a more of an observation than a panic moment.
I think when she's looking at the blue button. Well, when she's looking at the buttons, she was like, "Oh, that used to be over here, but now they're there." That would have made it better for me.
But she knows where the alcohol is. So
Well,
hasn't she been in there before?
the TARDIS probably helps her out with some things,
Yeah.
like antlers,
I mean, I get
antlers
it.
for cheering up.
but
And again, I do get it. It's just something I noted, and she was conceived in the TARDIS, so there is a part of her that is sort of connected specifically and directly. So I get it.
I mean,
All right.
it's a little premature to mention. I guess you talk about the actors and stuff. But I can't remember the guy's name, but the one who plays Halifax. I didn't know who he was when I originally saw this episode, but knowing now that he's a very famous comedic actor in Britain, it's interesting to see him in this role.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hydroflax?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Davis or Davies.
Hmm.
He's I'll share this part with you guys. He's 6'8".
Oh wow!
He's a very tall man.
Is that why they
That's-
made the outfit so big?
yeah.
Maybe.
Was he like a big Doctor Who fan, or was he stunt casting at that time, or like?
I think because you have the other comedian Matt Lucas, so they got both of them as comedic what do you call it? Personalities.
That's one thing the only thing that kind of bugs me about this episode. It's not really bugging me about this episode as longer is that the point of Nardole just seems like. I guess he's starts off just being a lackey who ended up, but then we find out more about him later. I don't know. I never really understood
Same here.
his
Yeah.
storyline from big A to Z.
In the real world or in the show? Because I agree with you, but I always took it as they hired him to do the Christmas special and then fell in love with him. And we're just like, we got to write more. We got to write more.
I think that's what happened, which is probably why it doesn't seem to hook up. But I kind of feel like he's an odd character to be one of her lackeys that she has to depend on.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't really make sense. He seems bumbling from the beginning, and she isn't someone who would depend on bumblers. So that's the biggest suspense of disbelief I have about this episode. That being said, he's great. Like I love the character, I love the actor, but it's just sort of I kept waiting for the reason he's with her to kind of show up. Like, oh, I had to save his life, and now I'm just stuck with him. Just something because he's. I wouldn't trust that guy.
And then didn't his counterpart in Little Britain, wasn't he in a Doctor Who episode? So it was like,
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm not knocking. I enjoy it, but it's just it was always a thing that kind of just I was waiting to find out, and even like right now I'm like, well, why is when the episode started I was like, oh cool, let me pay more attention so I could find out why he's actually with her.
If you do want to get timey-wimey, because he spends the next season with the Doctor, River might have felt that, when she was interviewing candidates, and that whole connection to the Doctor might have come through without her even realizing.
Well, I was going to say that the Little Britain duo was Matt Lucas and David Walliams. So David Walliams appeared in the God Complex as Gibbous.
wait, is the God
that's who
Complex-
that guy is.
Was that an episode?
Yes,
the Doctor Who episode?
That is a Doctor Who episode with Matt Smith and Amy and Rory. They're trapped in that hotel with the Minotaur.
With the
Praise
Weasley
him.
guy,
Yeah.
but not
Praise
Ron.
him.
Yeah, I mean, I could look this up while we're talking, but what was his counterpart in Little Britain? I know you just said the names, but
David Walliams.
oh, Dave
Walliams. It's
Yeah,
like
so
Williams with an A. I don't.
Nardole's just the perfect comedic sidekick. It's
Yeah.
just kind of like he's I don't know, the Gilligan. Don't hit me, Frank. But I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of his, and Frank, I don't think you were either. But I really did come over to Nardole later. But he made me laugh in this one. But I remember when it was like, wait, he's still around? Oh no. But then it was like, oh, and actually, you know what? I'm really glad he's there. So
I think I'm still there, Ryan, where you were.
well,
I could take or leave Nardole personally, but maybe
yeah.
I just haven't seen the light yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy him earlier now because of the later seasons. So I'm kind of seeing him through that filter. So I grew to like him. So now I like him throughout.
Because Frank, weren't we disappointed when we figured out who was going to be on?
Why are
The
you
next
talking in
season.
past tense?
Oh, you still, that's what I was, and I'm trying to pull that out of you. It's like you still don't like Nardole, right?
It's not like I dislike. It's just such a different type of companion that doesn't really do anything. You know, we're so used to having companions who are elevated because they're with the doctor, take the risks, try and do what's really right. And especially now when we're first seeing him, he's just so much of a, I don't want to be here, I don't want to be part of this. I'm just wanting a simple thing where I don't have to do anything kind of feeling. Like, yes, I'm with her, but she'll take care of me and I don't have to really do anything. I just run these small little errands and go getting the surgeon.
Maybe they felt like we needed a Shaggy to our Scooby Gang, you know?
So now that we're watching everything again, because I really haven't watched a lot of the Nardole ones or fast forward through some of them, I guess. It's like, okay, let me take the time and let me see it again. So this would be a fun one for me, this coming up, to see how Nardole actually grows.
Yeah.
Well, and
I
it
don't
is
think he
nice
grows
after
much,
getting-
but he grew on me is what I'm getting at.
Like moss.
it is nice getting that reset from, you know, the Clara as a companion who became the doctor or tried to fill the role of the doctor in so many ways. Like Nardole is, I think, meant to be like non-threatening in that way. Like there's no chance he doesn't have the drive or the ambition to
Right.
take that role. And so it's nice getting that clean slate for a potential companion.
That's a good point. Now, you don't have to divide the doctor's doctorness through anybody. It's just we could just focus on him.
Right. And
Although
all
I
of
do
that-
think I was gonna say it would have been funny if they had made an episode where like their brains switched and you could see Matt Lucas being all scientific. Because I mean, I think he would have done it really well.
I think he could have.
Damn it! Yeah, I keep losing my head.
And speaking of that, so what is with all these decapitations of, you know, Captain Jack and the headless monks and the blue guy's head? So where's Nardole's body?
Look, I think the idea is that bodies deteriorate, and it would be better if we could just put our brains on metal things so that we could go on and fix the parts that are broken.
Haven't you ever
That's
seen
the way of the
Futurama?
future. Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember that Moffat had an idea that Nardole's head would go where Thorium's head is with the headless monks. Their little alcove.
Puppies.
Yeah, and that's probably, I mean, he probably had the idea of doing that and then dropped that idea, but kept the decapitated head, you
Right.
know.
Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
Go ahead.
speaking of an effect like the decapitated head and all of that, I thought the effects for the most part this whole episode were fantastic.
mhm.
Like the execution of them all when the guy splits his head open, even
The split the
Yes.
head open.
Wait, we're
Yeah.
not there yet.
we're
Okay,
not there yet, but
okay.
but fine.
Let's
No, but
but even the animatronics of that head that did split open, and then too the oh my god, what's the guy's the Halifax's actor? Hydroflex. Halifax. What's Hydroflex?
Hydroflax.
What's the actor's name?
Greg Davies, I
Greg
believe.
Davies. Yeah, like the likeness of the head, it always looked like him. It didn't look like a fake head.
Mhm.
The you know, the compositing, you know, just all the special effects one has to do, everything worked great. Like I could see every now and then how they did something, but I could never see evidence of how they did it. It was always really, really good.
I do always laugh at the restaurant table scenes though, because I can't. It's like the guy is sitting underneath the
Oh, sure.
table. That must have been so uncomfortable to do that all day.
Especially being 6'8". Good lord.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
so-
I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks great. You know, I mean, it works completely, but it's like, oh, what a nightmare that would have been to shoot.
Yeah, so it's to go a little bit into the Doctor Who extras that are on the DVD, which is sort of what they did for Doctor Who Confidential. It morphed into Doctor Who extras, just some behind the scenes stuff. Matt Lucas took his camera and was mainly doing the Doctor Who extra episode for this episode. Greg, he was talking about, and he held the prosthetic that they did a live cast of his head, and they did two different facial expressions. I think one was for when it gets dropped, so they're not it's in the TARDIS console, but they physically drop the head out of, I think, surprise, and that's why it has that like grimacy look. And then the other one is more shocked, and he was just like, "This is impressive," so it was cool.
The makeup on the Mater D was very good, or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As silly as it was, it didn't look. It looked like it fit in the world, and
Yeah.
It did.
It fit. It didn't. But it was better than that silly fitting into the Doctor Who world. I
Yeah.
thought it, that could have been an alien in almost any sci-fi show. It looked that good.
It was a good combination.
The actor was perfect as a Mater D,
Yeah.
Backstabbing Mater D.
Yeah, he was really good.
River plans to sell the diamond on this ship. They meet Scratch, who pays River and demands the diamond. Unfortunately, it's revealed that Scratch's people worship Hydroflax and want the diamond to honor him. The body arrives and destroys Hydroflax's head, leaving the diamond in a pile of ash. It orders River to tell him where the Doctor is because it now wants the ultimate head, the Doctor's. River confidently says she doesn't know. She goes on to say she loves the Doctor, but the Doctor doesn't love her and won't be drawn into danger because of sentimentality. She pauses to look at the Doctor, who is smirking at her. Calmly, he says, "Hello, sweetie."
Okay, Emmy, Oscar, Grammy, Tony. The "Hello, sweetie"
BAFTA.
is perfect. It's perfect. His read on that line holds so much. It's awesome.
Yeah, I do like that this is the first time that Peter Capaldi has been with River Song, Alex Kingston.
Yeah.
And it feels like this is the same character in David Tennant that we met. It's awesome.
It really does.
And that's a credit to her too. I mean,
Yeah.
she bounced off of 3 actors and was just fantastic with all 3. Because also her reaction when she's figuring it out finally.
That's what I
Oh
was
my
gonna
God,
say.
her reaction,
Her
you're
reaction.
right. She deserves awards for that. When I was watching it today, I got goosebumps, especially her kind of understanding reaction before he says, "Hello, sweetie." And then when he actually says it and she's like, "Oh, yeah, it's good."
And then
So-
they
Real
have
good.
to, and then they have a bit of banter together, but they have to still kind of hide that it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they can, yeah, exactly.
And his whole reaction to listening to her from the moment she starts monologuing to,
Yes.
like,
Yes.
like he went through so many things too.
And then the follow-up where he's like, I don't know, let me ask the sun. She's like, oh, shut up. It's just perfect. And I'm sorry, I was my memory is bad, but when Eugene, you were there when I was fanboying over Alex Kingston. I'm pretty sure I asked her about this scene and said, I commented, said, the scene between you and Capaldi with the "Oh Sweetie" was just the best. And of course, the whole time I was sitting there going, she's talking to me.
That turned out nicely. It did, didn't it? Yes. Ryan. So I've got to do Hello Sweetie. Yeah.
Combo's 80.
She gets us.
Combination means selfie and an autograph.
Geek out.
All right, we'll do that.
When River realized Peter Capaldi is the Doctor.
Oh
yeah, should have gotten that. It just gets me every single time. It's wonderful.
Do you know, it was because of course I know, but so that episode was so difficult to shoot, not only from that moment, that scene at the very end as well.
Oh right, yeah.
To try and hold back crying was impossible. So every take they'd have to kind of redo the makeup and everything because I just went, because Peter went. And seeing him cry, that then set me off and made me cry. So yeah, it was a tough one, but a joy.
It's great.
Yeah, that was at Rose City Comic-Con last year.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was over a year ago.
Was that at a panel, or did you happen to speak to her aside?
We spent
I
time
was at a
talking to
signing.
her at the.
Yeah, it was. She was great because she talked to everybody, and we were kind of ish toward the near the beginning of the line, so I didn't feel too bad. But then later on, we were standing in line next to her line. It was how many hours later, Eugene? It was a long time, and she was still there, just personally talking to every single person who came up. It was great.
That was, I mean, she did not have to do that with everybody, but
No,
that's just who she is, and that's awesome.
it was great. Oh God, I liked her even more.
She's a delight.
And if I ever meet her, one thing I want to ask her, and I'm going to ask you now, is was she telling the truth at this point, or was she lying? Does she really think that the doctor doesn't love her?
I do. I think even though she's stalling with the truth.
It's one of those things about us all where we have to admit that we feel the way we feel despite whether they feel that way or not. And he's not good at showing her that he loves her, so she has decided to stop trying to figure it out. Like, as far as she's concerned, it doesn't matter.
Seems
But
like
deep down,
self-preservation, really.
yeah, I think almost with anyone, because unless you're love obsessed, you're not going to love someone or be in love with someone who just doesn't love you, because there's a connection that the love is based on. So if there's no connection, you're not going to be in love with them. But someone may not give you what you need in order to be in a loving relationship. So she has basically developed this way of thinking about the two of them, which is what her speech was.
And the follow-up question was, does the doctor love her?
I think
Yes.
so.
Because of his reaction. So it's just one of those, I mean, just the scene is so great in how they played it. Because the doctor has said before that he can't grow old with humans, so he can't.
It's interesting,
do that.
though.
So it's just sort of how much, they played it so well that just adds such a depth to all of this that you can ask these questions.
I agree. I think this doctor is less distracted by so many other things than the previous ones. So he can access that, especially since this doctor has himself grown since he was the grumpy Gus in the beginning.
Brian, do you think you could have answered that question as definitively as you did prior to this episode?
I'm sorry. What do you mean? Which?
When
yes. The yes?
Yeah, two is the doctor in love with her.
Yes. Matt Smith, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. But for me, Capaldi, I can totally understand it, but it's all wrapped up in Hello, Sweetie.
Yeah.
There's so
For
much
me,
going on in the Hello, Sweetie.
For me, I think this was the first time that
Really?
I could definitively say, like, oh, not that I didn't think he didn't care about her. Of course he does. He cares about all his companions, but something about Capaldi's delivery and this being sort of the end of their story, and her, her already alluding to the fact that her diary's almost full, so he knows what's up. And that was really the first time it was very clear to me, in my opinion. Some people may still not think that.
This is why I think I like River Song's character so much, is because she is the only one that I think, sees the doctor for who the doctor is. It's this alien. He's the Time Lord. He doesn't think like us. He doesn't act like us. And, I can still love him even knowing that he is incapable of loving me in the way that I would want him to. And, yeah. I just wanted to.
She's like the only person emotionally strong enough to deal with that out of the companions. They want to think they are, but other than going way back, like Martha and that type of thing. But I'm saying in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, like all of them, like, Rose, and the doctor says, you wither and you die, and I don't. And, I think River is the only one, like you were saying, who understands that and doesn't think that's bad. It's just him. And so he's doing it. He's living his life just like she's living hers. So, but I do think, I think what River is saying is true. But I also think the doctor does kind of say in his own doctorish way, yeah, I do, But again, in his own doctor way, because she also knows that even after this adventure, he's going to fly off in his TARDIS. Although he hangs around for 24 years, I'm just saying. But he's going to fly off in his TARDIS. They're never going to settle down, or not even settle down. They're never going to go out and have adventures forever together, because he doesn't do that. And she knows it, and she's okay with it. Whereas the other companions are not okay with it, for the most part. I think
one of the big differences, too, is that the other companions give up their life to go into the TARDIS. River pops in and out, maintaining her life the whole time. So that she has something to go back to. It's almost like she keeps herself at a distance on purpose to keep herself, to maintain her sanity in this situation.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And one thing that came up to me while you guys were talking is the other companions make his alienness, his idiosyncrasies, what's wrong, and it's gone as a joke. Clara with the cards, this is what you're supposed to say to humans. This is how you handle it. That's not right. And the way River says is, no, that's not the way we look at it. You're seeing it differently than us, and this is how we look at it. And so it's like giving him the going, no, we are different. You see it one way. This is how, as humans, we see it. It's
pure acceptance.
Yes. So that's what you were saying. It's just like, okay, that's another example, just showing it that why their relationship works so well.
There's even a very simple example of this where he's trying to compliment her and she's like, you have no idea
right
why I look good, and he's like, hair, and she's like, nice try. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for trying. And I
Yes.
feel like there was just 2 episodes ago that he couldn't recognize that Clara had a new outfit on, and she like scolded him about it.
One thing that I have a question about is I didn't like an aspect of River in this, and I'm trying to get okay with it. She was going to steal the diamond to help and bring it back to the people that he took it from. But then she just turns around to sell it, not caring about the other people. And she had a bit more compassion, I thought, than that. So
That always bothered me too.
Is she lying about the people, that they didn't care about the diamond, and she's just making that up to kind of dig it into Hydroflax, that no, you stole from this and I'm going to steal from you? Or was she planning to sell it and then steal it back and give it to them, so that she make money in between it all, selling it, and then just, okay, now I got to steal it one more time and give it back to them?
This is weird, Frank. I'm right there with you, because this bothered me. This isn't the River I know and like, and I want to just
the one the doctor likes.
Yeah. I want to just chalk it up to Stephen Moffat. Like, he wanted that moment where they recognized each other, and he worked backwards from there. And it was just about getting them to that moment, and then how do we, like, it's more of like a MacGuffin. It's just the diamond. It's not important. It just gets her going into where she needs to be.
But even the doctor says, so wait a minute, is this what you do when I'm not around? Kind of, he started to say in the sentence.
And again, Moffat, because I think he just likes to throw in these lines, and he makes them work in like a backwards
right
engineering type of way. And that's what I can chalk it up to, because it sucks that he's the one that made this character, and we loved her from the beginning. But then, kind of like with the Weeping Angels, same thing with that. He came up with the Weeping Angels, great episode in Blink. And then when they come back in Time of the Angels, they get diminished because he's giving us too much.
But even
like the entire season 3 of Sherlock.
Oh God, terrible. Oh.
But anyway.
Another thing I don't like in context of this scene that we're talking about is that where they're dining is what did they say, for the genocide?
Yeah.
Goes to
this is where the kick back and relax. I'm like, this is not where River should be hanging out.
She's not hanging out. That's where you make deals.
Yeah, but in the fact that Frank is bringing up, is she going to sell it for her gain instead of giving it to the people that Hydroflax tormented? That's the part that, like, she shouldn't be here.
I never really thought about that.
Because there are, she's real. Indiana Jones-esque. Well, he's stealing things, but he puts them in a museum, which you still stole them.
It's like stealing with
Halifax
time.
And the doctor going, you did all this stuff and took the most precious thing, and now I'm going to give it back. I'm going to steal it from you. Why say that? It doesn't seem like River. She's like, she would just own it. Yeah, you stole it, so, well, turn around fair play, so I get to have it now.
Yeah.
Kind of
that
thing.
Would have sat better with me.
It just, that one just, there's something there that's...
But she's not saying that to the doctor. She's saying that to a strange person that she's hired to get the diamond by killing somebody.
That later on she says, what kind of an idiot are you? Are you really that gullible and stupid, or you work at it? Kind of thing. So, because she was going to sell it the whole time. So it seemed like you bought into it, but she really wasn't going to take him if she didn't have to. She was going to take the surgeon with her. It's just something there that I can't seem to rationalize to get that one line.
I mean, I've thought about that before, and in my head, what I just go is, she was just going to get their money and get the diamond back. She's River. She's going to, she's like, well, I've got the diamond. I can, do this, and then after that, I'll get the diamond and take it back.
And get the
because I
reward.
really do. She would give it back to the real people. She would want to do that. And
I just
if
wish she would have told,
and she would have figured out a way to do that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, because she's already been affected by the doctor. I think, original River Song, Psycho Killer, River Song, who was, qu'est-ce que c'est? She, I don't think she would have had any, like, look at Mel's, when she was Melanie,
What a nut.
Yeah. And so it's like, that's what River was. And the doctor is softening her into something else. So I think now she's reached the point where it's like, okay, there's this diamond. This guy is really bad. I'll get rid of the guy. I'll get the diamond. I'll make some money from it. Dupe these morons. Get the diamond back and
get the
give
reward
it back.
True. And this is after she's gone through all Matt Smith's doctor, because the whole diary is almost full.
Yeah.
It just, I wish it seemed, I just wanted it clear, something that she would have told Ramon, or something in, while they're traveling, in that, going, to say, I told you we're going to give the diamond back. Just, I got to do this first, and then we can go back and get the rest.
Again, this is the second time this episode. Just one line would have prevented 15 minutes of discussion here. Just right in the damn line.
But that's our good podcast, I hope.
I know. Gee, Heather, you want it so well written, we don't have a podcast.
No, we would just sit here the whole time being like, brilliant, lovely, perfect.
That would be the Who Knows podcast.
Okay, sorry. Those are little things that I just wanted to bring up.
I just had an epiphany. She is going to take the diamond back to those people. And she's going to get the money, because she knows that ship blows up and everybody dies. She knows that's going to happen. That's how she escapes. And it's a diamond. But even if she didn't catch it, as long as she's not on the ship when it explodes and crashes, she'll go to the crash and get the diamond. And it's like, she knows everybody. So it's like, that's it. To me, it's like,
yeah, no, that works. And it's jarring because we don't know that till after the fact, because we're just following along.
Yes.
That's one thing that I was saving till later to say. That's what I love most about this episode. It's really timey-wimey. There's a lot of things after the fact of like what we all like about time travel stories. Even with the restaurant at the end, like there's a lot of that. I like it.
Yeah.
Brian, you're brilliant.
That's why, oh God, I forgot. That's why it says it when she's doing the I dug you up, it's really fast. It's really, really quick. And for me, a lot of the times it's kind of like, okay, she knew this was going to happen, and I just kind of blow it off. Now it's like watching it for the podcast, I got the epiphany because I'm figuring it out more timey-wimey now.
Yeah.
And going, well, what are they going to do with, it's like, what are they going to do with it? They're just all going to die anyway. And it's like, wait, she knew they were going to die. So it's like, that's River.
Oh, that's perfect. You're brilliant. Thank you.
You saved the day, man. I feel better now.
And I'm going to cry.
Switching things to the scene when Scratch does finally open his half head. Like we mentioned, that's a good effect. The doctor's line really adds a level of comedic relief at this point, where they're in the restaurant at the table. Scratch removes half of his head. He says, "Perhaps you shouldn't do that in a restaurant."
Yeah.
I was like, that was really good.
And that is Colony Sark, right? The actor?
I don't think so. Hold on.
No? Okay.
I could be wrong. Hold on. Let me look that up.
Then I won't say what I was going to say.
It is. I don't think it is. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, then I won't say what.
But he does give me those vibes, though.
Well, I was going to say, it's blatantly obvious it's the same actor as Colin Sark. I mean, come on.
I like the way that he over-enunciated when he talked.
Yes.
It just made it odd.
Yeah.
A little bit eerie. So it's like something so simple as over-enunciating. I thought was a great choice. I thought it was great. I just liked it. It's just so odd.
Weird storage place.
Yeah. My other note about being surrounded by a whole restaurant full of Hydroflax loyalists, it feels un-River, but then Brian's whole thing of she knows that the Starliner is going to blow up. That makes it better.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that's why she's sitting in that room, because she knows they're all going to die.
But the problem with it is that they play it like they're being trapped.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem I have with it.
Yeah, and it's before we know the reveal. So
Yes.
I mean, this whole series is sort of like that. There's a lot of things we complain about because we are a beat behind the story a lot of the times, which is where we're supposed to be. But because we are, we don't realize some things actually do work that we feel don't.
But I feel like we're a beat behind on a million plot threads. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's too many things to follow.
Yeah.
Which is why everyone who's a fan of Doctor Who should have a podcast about it.
We don't want competition.
Oh, I take it back.
Just kidding. Terrible suggestion.
Eugene, I think she knows that the ship's going to blow up and it's a ship of scoundrels and villainy. But she may not know that they were all there because as Hydroflax worshippers.
It's just
There's a
funny that
couple- Go ahead, Eugene. Mine's just crap.
Well, it's just funny that there's certain things that we pick up on individually as people, like the whole thing of River not recognizing the Doctor in his new incarnation kind of latched onto me. And then while we don't have, or now we kind of figured out this inconsistency with River's motivations, if you will. It just always reminds me of the girl who died episode with the baby crying and then not crying when the Doctor figures out he wants to save the village. Where that one is cool to hear different takes on how that line is read and taken in the episode. Where I feel like these things are a little bit more important and like giving not holding too much of, I don't want to say a grudge, but I don't know what else. That's what comes to mind with River not recognizing the Doctor's incarnation. I get it. That's because Moffat wants that moment in the restaurant to reveal that River does know who this person is, and this person has been there the whole time. It's just that's not how I would have done it, but right. I'm not writing the show. All that to say, it's funny, and I like that we pick up on different things to kind of overanalyze, and I think that's why we are on the podcast and people in the UK are listening to us.
Or at least person.
Yes.
In the sort of bustle of them realizing that everybody is Hydroflax supporters, there's just a couple really funny moments where River kind of shoves the bag over in front of the Doctor. And then also there's something like, well, what is he going to do? Put his hands up? Or just some really funny one-liners in there that I enjoyed. I miss a lot of those sometimes because they speak very quickly and in their accents. And when I get them, I'm like, oh, that's great.
Speaking of that, I want to know how long the script actually was. Because they do speak
a lot of
fast.
dialogue.
They do have a lot of dialogue. It's like, was this an episode and a half? And they, just because they spoke quickly and did it all, it's like a condensed into one. Because it's Moffat. He does some great writing. I had some problems with some of them, but overall, I still think coupling in this, Sherlock, usually he does some really good writing. I like it.
They did a lot, and yet the ending speech is so long. They took so much time with it, which I approve of. They didn't rush it. It was a beautiful moment, and they let it play out. And yet so much also happened in the same episode. How did you do that?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
As the bad guys move to capture them, a meteor strikes the ship. But as an archaeologist, River had already known about it from a history book. They safely fall through the floor. Hydroflax's body follows them, and the Doctor quickly short-circuits the body. He joins River on the bridge, where they are unable to stop the ship from crashing into the planet Durilia. At the last second, they run into the TARDIS, where River is knocked unconscious. The Doctor goes outside and sees the singing towers of Durilia. He gives a man the diamond, saying, "Build a restaurant here." Later, River wakes up, goes outside, and finds that she's in a restaurant on Christmas Day. The Doctor arrives in a new suit and gives River a sonic screwdriver as a present. As they listen to the towers, River notices that the Doctor is crying. She realizes that this is the last night, the very last night the two of them will spend together. She asks him how long a night on Beryllium is, and he says 24 years. And they lived happily ever after.
That line sort of, I remember being grumpy the first time I watched this episode, not necessarily because it was bad. I think the reason I didn't like it is because it wasn't what I was looking for. It was a Christmas special, and I was looking for a Christmas Carol or something like that. And so when I got this like robot evil space movie episode, I think I was biased into not liking it because of that. I wanted some ho 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 and magic in my episode. Watching it now, knowing that I'm not going to get that, But I still remember that ending being like, well, that's not really what I wanted, but that ending was really beautiful. So I'll let it go. And today, watching it, knowing what was coming, I liked it a lot better. But still, Christmas Day, I wanted a little more Christmas in the episode.
Yeah, I will agree with you. You kind of put into words what I was going to say, that when the Christmas specials come around, you expect holiday cheer.
Yeah.
From
Moffat,
Doctor Who?
yeah. I mean, Moffat takes the Christmas specials and runs them in a different kind of direction.
At the very least, I was expecting Christmas trees spinning out of control, attacking people. But,
Yeah.
I didn't get that either. So,
Yeah. And the only way, I don't have a way to describe how I feel other than the feelings I have. But I think the closest thing that I can come up with is in the first Star Wars movie when Obi-Wan or Princess Leia says, "You served my father well in the Clone Wars." And then we get what the Clone Wars are. It was not what I had imagined in my brain.
Right.
So when this is the end of River Song's sort of journey as far as televised episodes, this is not what I was expecting either.
I would agree with that.
But again, depends on what mood I'm in. Like Heather, if you're in the proper mood of expectations are set, you can enjoy this.
it's not Christmas. It's just a
It's
random
not.
day in the year.
Yeah.
So, I'm fine with it. All that to say, I liked it a lot better now. And I even like it even more now that we've ironed out some of the kinks
Yeah.
in this discussion. So,
Yeah, there is a deleted scene when the doctor gives, his name is Alphonse, the diamond. He checks in on Alphonse's progress of the restaurant construction another time. And
Cool.
And I can see why they cut it because it's super, super fast. But he goes in one more time and he says something about make sure there's a balcony with a view. And then he comes back into the TARDIS, and then so just imagine that scene, and then you just get the
it's
one where
really cute.
he gives him the diamond, says, plants that seed of build a restaurant, and then he comes back and he makes the reservation. So there's a scene in between that where he checks in.
Yeah, they didn't need that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't need it, but it's still cute.
Yeah.
Honestly, they could have just had him throw that in when he tells him to build a restaurant. Build a
Yeah.
restaurant. Make sure
could.
it has a balcony with a nice view. Bye.
Totally.
But it worked fine as it was.
hmm I do like this that the Doctor is actually using the TARDIS for something he wants to do instead of something the companion wants to do. So he's giving River that last night, and I don't know, it's sweet. I like it.
And he
I
did
like
tell them that the reward is plenty. So the diamond did get back to the people.
Just has some profit along the way. But I was going to say, I do like that once they're stationary in space and just traveling through time, the whole like TARDIS activity to get it to go
Boom, boom.
is a lot simpler. It's like
Yes.
a lever, which I like in this situation.
Very much.
Kelsey, were you asking how the diamond got back to the?
Yeah, that's the
He
planet.
says to the guy that he gives the diamond to, he says, "You'll find the reward on this is substantial."
Okay. So
Yeah.
that guy returned
the
the
remo-
diamond to the planet.
Got the reward and built the restaurant. The people who worship that diamond aren't on that planet.
Because I think River's whole speech was the most important thing to these people. So it seemed like it was more spiritual, emotional, something rather than, who knows, maybe it was a baby. You know?
Yeah.
The little
He
dragon.
He did talk about
Like-
dragon eggs.
You know?
It's a rather small diamond to be so valuable. I expect like space gems to be heftier than.
Yeah.
I mean, I know diamonds are expensive, and that's still a pretty big diamond as far as diamonds go. But
Well, I think
They
the
put
whole
all the
idea that
money
it
into
was
the
lodged in his head had to be small, though.
yeah,
Did you notice how the Doctor, during the entire episode, the Doctor uses his sonic glasses until the last scene when they're about to crash the ship and he uses his sonic screwdriver?
Yeah, the new one.
But they couldn't have him use that screwdriver earlier in the episode because she would have gone, "Oh my God, you're the Doctor."
Right.
Mhm.
So conveniently, he uses the glasses for the whole episode until the last scene, where suddenly the glasses are gone, his screwdriver's back.
Yeah, the blue
I
one.
didn't notice
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't even
It
notice
is.
him
It would be
using
the
the glasses.
screwdriver. It
Huh.
is the screwdriver that he just got,
Yep.
but that you don't see it the whole episode. Yeah. So it's like, well, that's kind of convenient, but I'll allow it.
No, it's because he really did. If this really was her not knowing who he was, I'm telling you, he wanted to see this. He wanted to, see who she is when he's not looking. Okay, so my theory.
I think River had gone on other adventures after this, but not with the Doctor, before going to the library and sending a message to him.
Yeah, because this isn't her thinking that she's going to die. This is just she's never going to see the Doctor again.
To be fair, well, how long is her lifespan?
She's over 200 in this episode. She has an extended lifespan, she says.
And by the end of it, she's over 224.
Well, I mean, she's not half Time Lord, but she's Time Lord adjacent. She doesn't have any regenerations left, but she doesn't have any regenerations left because she gave all of hers up. So if she hadn't have done that, she still had the ability to regenerate. So she'd have a long lifespan.
But theoretically, if this version of her stays alive, it could stay alive possibly forever. However long Time Lords live.
It could be a billion years before she goes to the library. I like the 24 years actually being 24 years.
Oh, that's one thing that always gets me. It's like what alphabet? Well, what year? What planet? What are we gauging on?
Yeah, because when he says 24 years, like 24 Earth years, 24 Venusian years, like 24 Galfrain years.
I read an Isaac Asimov book once, and in his introduction, he said, look, I'm writing this story in English.
Right.
I'm writing this story for people who are in reality. So when I say miles, it's whatever you want. I'm just saying miles as you know how far a mile is. You know how long a year is. Call it whatever you want, but I'm giving you a time frame. And I always kind of took that to heart to be like, yeah, if they say miles, just go with it. If they say rels, because that's a Dalek thing, it's like, oh, that's cute. I mean, it's just like, don't think about it too much. It's kind of how I took it. So I take the 24.
He actually wrote that.
Yeah, I agree with you because I do think of it each time, every time. I can't help that, but put it aside.
When he's saying it to River, he probably means human years because her family is human.
Yeah, I mean, I take that too, but you have to have some sort of measurement. Like Beryllium has a night that lasts 24 Earth years. That's how I'm taking it. But I think the fact that he left that out, it leaves it open to other things. But again, like Brian's saying, it's not important. It's just knowing that their last night is a longer time than what's our night? 8 hours?
So excited for them.
Yeah. I think that's the main thing to take away from this. But we are on a podcast, so we are dissecting every little bit and insignificant minutia. We wouldn't be doing our job, is what I'm saying.
Okay, now how's this for rationalization and picking things apart? First time we see River, she sees David Tennant and knows him. Knows he's the Doctor, knows him, but doesn't know how young he is. But she does know his face. So she has to have known this face before. And then later in Silence of the Library, she literally does look him in the eyes and go, oh, wow, you're so young. So how could she have seen an older David Tennant Doctor and had adventures with that older David Tennant Doctor so that when she goes to the library, she looks at David Tennant and says, you're so young? It's because she had adventures with the 14th Doctor.
I was going to say she had that flip book of all his faces.
Yeah, but she knew him.
So the 14th Doctor is when David Tennant came back. He looks physically older.
After Jodie Whittaker.
Mm-hmm.
So in between Jodie Whittaker regenerating into David Tennant and David Tennant meeting up with Donna and regenerating into Ncuti, that Doctor had other adventures that in my mind are with River, and that's how she knows him. And when she goes to the library, it's like, okay, where are we? So
I think it's a good retcon. I like it because
he physically looks older,
but because they rewrote this and the whole singing towers and they added all this other stuff onto it, when she goes back there, she says the only reason he doesn't know her, that's when she's going to die. She knows it then, but she doesn't think, why would she call the Doctor if she knows the next time she's going to see him, if the last night was on Beryllium? She calls the Doctor and then surprised that this is going to be her last night. So they rewrote it, so that doesn't quite make sense anymore. So what Brian's doing is just trying to retcon that into, well, then she saw the face, so she knows him and recognizes him. It's not somebody new. But the way you're saying it is the way it was originally written. But then that doesn't explain the Beryllium. Why would she call the Doctor and be surprised that was the last night they're going to spend together, those 24 days. And now she's calling the Doctor again, and when he shows up, she knows she's going to die ahead of time. Because she knew that. And she's like, you're not going to know me when I when it's my time to go. You won't know me. So
Yeah, I never liked that.
I mean, it was great at the time. It made
No,
total
I mean,
sense.
no. I mean, I never liked her when I look in his face and he doesn't know me. It'll just be the death of me, or it'll kill me, or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, that literally happened. I never really liked that. I was getting around the fact that she knew who David Tennant was, even though she never had an opportunity to
Let's
have
see that
adventures
incarnation
with
of
David
that
Tennant.
face. Right.
Yeah. And then now she does, because there's a second incarnation of that face. So she interacts with that doctor. Makes me happy.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
oh. I hesitate to bring this up because I don't know if I believe it either, and I don't know if I want to open up this can of worms.
But yet you're gonna.
I'm gonna. When he gives her the Sonic, he scans her. He picks it up and he's like, oh, and does a little over her. I think it was on TARDIS Wiki. They say at that point, that's what he's doing. He's saving her essence, her ghost. That's him literally doing it at that point. So the Sonic scanned her in order to save her. It didn't just ghost her like the other people's communicators did. So it was kind of like, oh, I never thought of that. I don't know if I like it, but okay. I always took it as the Sonic just acted the same way the communicators did when they ghosted people. And in fact, I mean, they had the same little meter inside the Sonic that the communicators did. So, but now it's kind of like, no, the doctor built that and scanned her specifically before the dinner so that it was inside the Sonic for when they're in the library. It's like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And that's just one. It's like, that's kind of neat. I don't know if I needed that one. I'm like, and I also never thought of it. And then I read it in the TARDIS Wiki and went, did I miss something? But I didn't miss anything. They just do it for fun. But it could be, Capaldi as a doctor is like, I'm going to act like I'm doing this for no reason, but he really is doing it.
I thought it was, and I had forgotten about that. But
had you?
Yeah, before when I had watched it. This
Okay.
time it's like, oh yeah, that's it, and I just skimmed over it. But I did because they were trying. I think they did need it to try and retcon what happened in that episode, just to tie it in. It's like, this is a loose thread that people are going to talk about, so let's put this in.
Okay, works
So
for
I
me.
had forgotten that.
Okay,
right.
That went well.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, going through the cast real quick. We have Alex Kingston for her final on-screen appearance as River Song, as we know of it now. We last saw her in season 7 in The Name of the Doctor with the 11th Doctor on Transalore. Then we have Matt Lucas as Nardole. He's a British-German comedian, best known for his sketch comedy series, as we mentioned before, Little Britain. He was Gil in Bridesmaid. He played the brother of Rebel Wilson, if you remember that, or the Rebel Wilson's character's brother in that movie. And he has alopecia universalis, which causes rapid loss of all hair, including eyebrows and eyelashes. He was most recently in Wonka as Rodnose, and like mentioned, we will see him again in Doctor Who. Greg Davis plays King Hydroflax. He is a Welsh comedian. Liam Cook plays Hydroflax's body.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but not the voice, because
the body, the puppeteer, I guess.
You'd think they'd get the 6'8" guy to do it, but
He was busy emoting. So Liam Cook was also in Andor and Rise of Skywalker as other alien creatures. And then Nonzo Anozie plays the voice of Hydroflax's body. He played the captain in the live-action Cinderella, was Sergeant Dapp in Ender's Game, was...
Oh my God, you're right. Sorry. His voice just hit me. It's like, I know who that guy is. He was in Ted Lasso, too.
Yes. He was Ola Obsinia in Ted Lasso. He was also Zaro Zoan Daxos in Game of Thrones, and Godian Shard. He voiced Godian Shard in The Mandalorian. Philip Reese Chaudhry plays Ramon. He has a very extensive acting credits list. Lots of shows and things in the UK. Ramon Polinsky plays Fleming, the alien at the Starliner that knows River and then sells her out. Robert Curtis plays Scratch. He's the one with the payment inside his head that splits it open. He was in the Sarah Jane Adventures as a security man in Prisoner of the Jadoon Part 1 and 2. That's the one where the Jadoon try to take Clyde prisoner. And then Anthony Cousins plays the concierge, which is the other bug-like alien that's kind of like advising the concierge guy.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Lu Kum Hoi plays Alphonse. He's the one that builds the restaurant from the Diamond's reward. Nicole Smart plays the receptionist once the restaurant is built. And then Clem So is uncredited, but he plays the Starline Galactic villain. That's what they build him as, but he's that ninja that's protecting Hydroflax once they're trying to take off his head, or they have his head and they're trying to put in a bag and escape Hydroflax's area.
The warrior monk.
I mean, it was very quick, but that's who I think he is, because he's been in a lot of uncredited roles in movies, and mostly stunts and things like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, No Time to Die, Skyfall, Black Widow, Broadchurch, and then a Russell T. Davis thing, Wizards versus Aliens.
Don't remember ninjas in Broadchurch.
He wasn't a ninja in that.
You weren't paying attention because, man, that scene
maybe
was
I fell
nuts.
asleep during that episode.
He was so quick. That's why he didn't know. He was silent.
Yeah, he was doing his job.
Maybe he spent the whole series scaling that cliff face, and by the time he got
That's
to the
what
top,
it was, yes.
He's the one that pushed the kid over.
Right.
Hey,
Spoiler.
up there,
Spoiler.
Did you see a kid fall?
Push smoke bomb. Never saw him
Vanish. He's been in Doctor Who since season 7, starting with Asylum of the Daleks. He was he was the Mongolian warlord. He was a clockwork droid in Deep Breath, and we will see him again in future episodes. So, the Husbands of River Song. Who is this episode good for? Or more specifically, this episode is good for who? A new viewer, a casual viewer, a fan of the show, or a diehard?
I think I'm going to say Die Hard, but not for the usual reasons. I think it's good for a fan because you can enjoy all the different levels. The only way to really get what this episode is to know a bunch of stuff about it. So that being said, I think it's better for Die Hard who can extrapolate even more from it, like Brian did before and stuff like that. I think it's good for a fan, but it's really good candy for a Die Hard.
That's a good way of putting it.
I think that might be the only... I don't know if I've ever said Die Hard before.
I think it is a really good episode, and I agree with Josh that diehards would definitely get the most out of it. But I think you could even show it to a casual or a new viewer if they were like, fans of The Time Traveler's Wife or something like that. Like, because it's got more of the fun, like, romance aspect of it than a lot of like season openers and other Doctor Who's that we would show first to a fan. I mean, I've never introduced somebody with this episode, but I think it's got enough fun and action and like I said, the self-referential to help like breaking the fourth wall, just having a good time, that you almost could show it to a new Who viewer. But I would say at least a fan, like you don't need the deep knowledge helps to get everything, but I don't think you need it to really enjoy it. But maybe just a little bit of knowledge would really go a long way. So I'll say casual.
Well, I think everyone should watch this episode. I think this is a great episode. I think it's solid. I think it has no holes. I'm upset that you all are nitpicking it and needing explanations and threads and bows, and I just think I love this episode, and I watched it when I was kind of a casual viewer, and it sold me into watching the next season. But this episode was written for the fans, and I think it's good for the fans. It was written for the fans, and that's where I'm going to place it.
I'm going to say fan. I think, it's a little on the corny side, which doesn't bother us, but might bother a newer person. The fact that everybody's heads are getting chopped off and shoved into this machine and, that type of thing. I also feel like there's just too much history, and we don't know if you don't know who River is, I don't know. I think you'd be missing a big piece of the episode, but I'm going to put it in fan. I think that's the better spot for me.
I agree with everybody who have different categories that they put it in. So I think with the so-called Heather caveat of not presenting it as a Christmas story. It's not a Christmas story, even though it takes place on that day. I would put it,
But it's Die Hard.
who's
Sorry.
it for? Who is it for? I think everyone. I'm going to put in everyone in New Viewer because I think it is corny, but that is part of Doctor Who. You look at some of the other episodes, that's what's going to happen. And if you can't accept it here in this fun story, you're not going to accept some of the other things that we all love and build up to.
Very fair.
Yeah, no, because like I said, I agree with everybody.
Yeah, there's no, even though the whole thing is a spoiler, there really is no spoilers. Oh, I didn't even mean that in a Doctor Who funny way.
No, that was very funny, even though you didn't. Yeah.
Because all the spoilers would just go right over your head.
But still have a good enough show that you.
Yeah, but it still
So,
works.
Yeah.
You know, and you watch it as you progress through the series, going, "Oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's what."
Which
that
I
means.
think I would like for people to go, oh, as
Yeah.
they continue watching it.
That's what the name of this episode should have been. Spoilers.
That's true. And River Song's character, the acting alone of Alex Kingston might make you want to keep watching.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
Peter's great in it too.
Because you can start watching then Alex Kingston episodes and then go and just to get somebody into it. So
Right, but don't tell the new viewer how long you gotta wait for the two of them.
Well, this episode is for me. Every time I watch this episode, I love it more. And now that I because of the podcast, I've really looked at Capaldi. It's like, oh God, this is great. This is just fantastic. But I'm going to put it in fan. I wouldn't show it to a new person because I would want them to have that same feeling that I had. I would want them to go through the journey, I guess, of the mystery of River Song. And like you said, there's no real spoilers here, but I wouldn't want to take away from Silence of the Library, where it's like, we don't know who River is, along with the Doctor. But if you do know that, oh, well, she loves him and blah, 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 blah. So I would leave it for a fan because I think, fans are going to get a lot of fun out of this one. And I would leave that moment for later for new people. So that's me.
Yeah, I'm going to put into a fan as well because, as we mentioned, this was not what I wanted out of a Christmas special, and it took me to be a fan to come back and revisit it. And I think the main thing for putting into a fan category for me is that you want to know where River is, and you want to sort of earn this capper to her story. And I don't, like Brian mentioned, I don't want people to be spoiled or have it spoiled when they're watching Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. There's a lot going on in this episode, and I think also putting into a fan is because it depends on what mood I'm in, and so as a fan I have to, if it's a mood that I'm not going to enjoy it, I have to force myself, and then if I'm in a better mood, then I can just go with the ride. So that wraps up The Husbands of River Song. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and we'll see you next time when the future becomes the present.
you just listened to an episode of Who Knew?
Our wonderful theme music is by Michael Grady.
Find him on Facebook at The Universe Explodes.
Additional music is by Damiel Paggio.
Additional music by Paul Ohlers.
All our episodes are engineered by Auburn, and you can find him at auburnbinkley.com.
You can also find this show in several places.
Follow us on Twitter at Who Knew Podcast.
Subscribe, review, and listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Who Knew Podcast.
All our episodes are on whoknewpodcast.com.
Visit our Facebook page.
Please leave comments, reviews, and click like to support Who Knew Podcast.
To listen to our show on your Amazon Echo device, subscribe to us on Amazon Music,
And then ask your Amazon device to play your podcast subscriptions.
This podcast is inspired by Doctor Who,
the longest running sci-fi show in history.
And especially the revival spearheaded by Russell T. Davis.
Thanks to Russell, Sidney Newman,
Verity Lambert, Ron Grainer,
and all those involved in the adventures of our favorite Time Lord.
Your work continues to inspire and entertain.
Oh crap, hold on. Keep talking, but I'm running out of power.
That's weird.